Hi boys and girls, welcome back to the farm. As you can see, we're next to the River Stincher that runs right through the farm, and we're joined by Otti the otter here, who wants to tell you a bit about himself. Now Otti has something to tell you about his poo. It's quite special. If you're tracking animals, sometimes the best way is to use footprints that are left behind, but also the poo that they leave behind can tell you a lot about the animal. Now otter spraint, as it's called, is quite special. It's dark brown in colour. It looks almost like a walnut whip. And if you look really closely, it's got little fish bones and scales inside the poo. It also smells very sweet indeed. So quite a good way of telling if you found an otter nearby.
There are 13 species of otter in the world.
A male otter is called a boar, a female is called a sow, and a little baby otter is known as a pup. Now if you get a group of otters together, they're known as a family. And if they're together in the river, they're known as a raft.
Otti wanted to show you some of the wild iris that have now come out in flower. There are lots of wildflowers along the riverbank, and Otti likes to give them a little sniff and see what they smell like. Little Otti loves to play in the reeds. They grow in abundance along this riverbank. Do you notice the seeds of the reeds are now out? Otti has webbed feet and a very powerful tail which acts like a rudder, making otters really strong swimmers. Their nostrils and ears both closed keep their water out, and their waterproof fur keeps them nice and warm. Otters are extremely dexterous little hands. They can use them to hold on to things to act like a tool. For example, some of the sea otters used stones as a kind of chisel to open up crab shells and eat the juicy meat inside. It's not just rivers that otters can live in. They are also found in estuaries, wetlands, lakes, and even marshes. River otters, like Otti, have a diet that is mainly fish and frogs. They are extremely competent hunters. The home of an otter is called a holt, and it's usually not far from the riverbank. They're creatures of habits, and they're extremely playful, so you'll often find tunnels and water slides and mudslides not far from their holt. They usually use the same route from their holt to the river. Otters are often found floating on their backs and simply enjoying life. We're often not fast enough to actually see the otters. They normally detect that we are there long before we actually can see them. However, you quite often see a V in the water sailing away from you, and that's a good sign that there has been an otter enjoying a swim nearby.
Otti is also... What's that? Oh yes, Otti wants us to go and visit the seashore to find out about the little relatives he has that are sea otters. We've brought Otti down to the seashore where his relations, the sea otter, likes to live. He's very excited to be here. He's going to have a little explore before he goes home to the river at the farm.
Otti couldn't wait to get into the rock pools and explore them. He enjoyed looking at Ailsa Craig, and he loved looking at how the sea started to come in really fast with waves crashing against the shore. It was very exciting. How different the waves look compared to the rapids in the river that he's used to seeing. He looked very carefully at the different types of seaweed that he could find, and he wondered just how different that is from all the algae that can be found in the river. He wants us to go and have a closer look at some of the cool things that he's been finding. He's completely in shock at how different this environment is from his riverside home normally. He's finding some of the rocks a little bit slippy with this green algae on them. He's enjoyed playing in the sand. Normally next to his habitat, it is mainly river gravel and stones. Sand is a strange thing for his little paws. He's having to clean his little face more often as the sand gets in his fur. He's found some cool tracks. Do you know what might have made these ones? He's enjoyed exploring the different shells and wildlife that could be found here, and is completely in wonder at how different it looks from the creatures he finds along the riverbank. He's enjoyed splashing in the water in the rock pools, but he's wondering why it tastes so salty. Can you tell him that? He's enjoyed playing in the slimy seaweed too. He found these strange things and wonders if you could find out what they are. He's enjoying playing with the seaweed. It feels so slimy and lovely. Otti is so excited to let you all see some of the lovely coastal birds that we can find around the sea habitat. He wants to show you them now. He saw some oyster catchers, which he's used to seeing at the farm inland also. He loved looking at the seagulls. They enjoy sitting on the rocks, flying in the sky, and when they take off in big groups, they are absolutely amazing. Gannets. We were even lucky enough to see some sea parrots or puffins, and actually saw a cormorant too. What a lovely time we've had. Goodbye, boys and girls. See you tomorrow.